Hello, it's Sonia here, the Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Tuesday, and that means it's Tunisian Tuesday. So we are going to be featuring a Tunisian stitch pattern, and I'm just using my eye hook or 5.5mm hook. And as you can see, it's a regular crochet hook. I just put a rubber band on the end there so my stitches don't slide off. And if you do not have a Tunisian hook, you can use a regular one. I just suggest it be a straight one like this. And I am just going to be using some cotton yarn. I'm not sure the brand, and it is a worsted weight or number 4 yarn, but this stitch pattern would work with a variety of hook sizes and yarn types. So to do this pattern, you will need to chain a multiple of 3, and then you will add 2. So why don't we chain 14? Because 3 times 4 is 12, and then you add 2 and it's 14. Okay, so I have my 14 chains. So we're going to get started on row 1. So this first row is our setup row. So in our second chain from our hook, I like to work in the back bump of the chain. So I'm just turning it over right there in the back bump. I'm going to insert my hook in there and pull up a loop. And if you've never done Tunisian crochet before, I do have a whole playlist that goes over the basics to get you started. And with Tunisian crochet, each row is worked in 2 parts. So the first part of the row is the forward pass, where you are putting your stitches on your hook like I'm doing right now. And then the second part is called the return pass, and that is where you take your stitches off, and each part equals 1 row. Okay, so there is our forward pass of row 1. So the amount of stitches that you chained, you should have the same amount in your hook. So I chained 14, so I have 14 loops on my hook. But if you chained a different amount, then obviously you would have a different amount of loops on your hook. So let's work on the return pass, where we're going to yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the row. All right, so there is row 1 of our stitch pattern. So that was our setup row. So row 2 is going to be the start of the repeat. So we are going to work in Tunisian simple, but we're going to work a big together stitch in these first 3 stitches. So you're just going to insert your hook in Tunisian simple in the first stitch, second one, and the third. So there's 3 bars there, vertical bars. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Okay, so we have that first stitch, and now we are going to chain 1. So in that loop here, so in the loop right here, we are going to insert our hook in here. So we need to put stitches back on. So at the end of row 2, you're still going to have 14 stitches. So now we are going to yarn over before we do that, and we'll insert our hook right in that loop there of our chain. So now we have the right number of loops back on our hook, and we're going to do that again. We're going to repeat across. So the next 3 vertical bars, Tunisian simple, yarn over, pull up our loop. Now we chain 1. Now we yarn over again, and then we go back in that part of the chain, pull up our loop, and we repeat. And as you can see, I kind of made the chain a little loose so you can easily insert your hook in there and pull up your loop. Now in our last stitch, it looks like a chain right there. We're going to insert our hook in that and pull up our loop. So we are back to 14 loops, or if you have a different number, then obviously you would have a different amount. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do indeed have 14. So now we work these off like we did. So yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the row. Alright, so there we go. There is row 2, and this is a 2-row repeat. So now we're going to work row 3. So we're just going to work Tunisian simple in that first stitch, so that first vertical bar. Work Tunisian simple, and if you're not familiar with that stitch, it is in the playlist. So now we are going to work in this space. So you can easily see, normally we would work in the next vertical bar, but we're not. We're going to work in this space right here. You're going to insert your hook and pull up your loop. So it's pretty easy, like if you just kind of spread it apart, you can easily see that hole. So just insert your hook in there and pull up your loop. And now we're going to work in the next stitch, Tunisian simple. So we are working Tunisian simple across, we're just not working this stitch, we're working in the space instead. So pull up our loop, work in that space, and pull up a loop. And we just keep going all the way across. And now we work in that last stitch that looks like a chain, and yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the row for our return pass. So this is a 2-row repeat, so you're just going to be repeating rows 2 and 3 for however long you want your swatch, and when your swatch is long enough, you do want to end on a row 2. Okay, so here is my swatch. I've worked 10 rows and I ended on a row 2. So now let's do our bind off row. And bind off, we are going to work in Tunisian simple, and binding off is just finishing off your work. So we want this end to look like this end. So you're going to insert your hook in Tunisian simple in that first vertical bar, and we're working a slip stitch like regular crochet. So in the next stitch, and working that slip stitch, and you always want to make sure that you do not work too tightly. So you want to watch your tension when doing your bind off row. Okay, so I'm at my last stitch here. It looks like a chain. And we work that final stitch. So there we go. And I think it's a neat stitch. It kind of has like a little bit of a lacy effect. And as you can see, it definitely lays more flat. Now this is cotton yarn, so that can definitely help things to lay flat. If you give it a good hard block, like a wet block, it will hold its shape. And I did make another swatch. So this one I worked 10 rows. And here is my other one. It's a bright pink. I worked 12 rows with this guy, so I feel like the camera is struggling to focus a little bit, but you can see it. This is 100% acrylic yarn, so it doesn't lay quite as flat, but definitely on the flatter side. If you wanted to, let's say, make a blanket or something with this stitch, I would just have like a purl stitch border, and then you shouldn't have any problem with it curling. But I think it's a really nice stitch. I think you could use it for a variety of projects. If you used a very large hook and thinner yarn, it would probably create a really nice lacy effect. I think would be very nice with this stitch, so maybe for a shawl or a scarf or something like that. But here we go. Here are the 2 swatches. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.